You're working too hard, and that's exactly why you're not getting better. I know that stings, but stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you is going to completely change the way you think about every single run you do from this point forward. Most runners, and I mean the overwhelming majority of people lacing up their shoes right now, are training in a zone that is too hard to build real fitness and too easy to create genuine speed. You're stuck in this exhausting middle ground, grinding through every session, convincing yourself that the suffering means something. It doesn't. Not the way you think it does. You're not getting faster. You're not getting stronger. You're just getting more tired. And somewhere deep down, you already know this. You can feel it. The same pace, the same effort, the same frustration every single week. That's not a training plan. That's a hamster wheel with running shoes on it. Today we're talking about 80-20 training, the method that elite runners have been using for decades, the method that coaches have been quietly applying at the highest levels of the sport, and the method that sounds so absurdly simple when you first hear it that most recreational runners completely dismiss it. And that dismissal is exactly why they stay slow. Don't be that person. Pause. Before we get into the science, I need you to do something. I need you to be honest with yourself. Think about your last 10 runs. How many of them felt genuinely easy? Not, I slowed down a little easy. I mean conversational, controlled, bordering on embarrassing easy, where you could have a full sentence with someone and not even have your breathing interrupted. How many? Be honest. If the answer is fewer than 8 out of 10, you already know the problem. You've been living in the middle, and the middle is where progress goes to die. Here's the reality check that nobody in your running group wants to give you. The no pain, no gain mentality. That sacred mantra of suffering that the fitness industry has been selling you for 50 years is physiologically backwards when it comes to endurance running. Full stop. It works for certain kinds of strength training under very specific conditions. But for a runner trying to build genuine aerobic capacity over time, it is actively working against you every single day. Here's what's actually happening in your body when you run at that moderate grinding, "This is uncomfortable, but I'm pushing through" pace that most recreational runners default to. You are training your body to be mediocre at 2 things simultaneously instead of excellent at 1 thing at a time. You are not slow enough to build the deep aerobic machinery that makes you efficient. And you are not fast enough to stress the high-end systems that create speed and power. You are exhausting yourself in the most unproductive way possible and calling it dedication. Ridiculous! The science here is not optional. It is not a matter of opinion or preference. It is basic exercise physiology, and once you understand it, you cannot unsee it. Your running fitness sits on 3 pillars. Picture an engine. The first pillar is your VO2 max. That's the raw size of your engine. It's the maximum amount of oxygen your body can process and use per minute. Higher VO2 max means a bigger engine. But here's the thing, most people don't tell you. You cannot directly access the full power of that engine unless the other 2 pillars are strong. The second pillar is your lactate threshold. This is the point at which your body starts producing lactic acid faster than it can clear it. Think of it as the engine's heat tolerance. How long can you run hard before the system starts breaking down? The higher your threshold, the longer you can hold a fast pace before things start falling apart. And the third pillar, and this is the one almost everybody neglects, is running economy. This is your fuel efficiency. How much energy does it cost you to run at a given pace? 2 runners with identical VO2 max scores can have wildly different race times because one of them moves efficiently and the other is hemorrhaging energy with every stride. These 3 things work together. Train all 3 or you're leaving speed on the table. Period. Now here's where 80-20 comes in and why it's the single most evidence-backed framework for developing all three pillars simultaneously without destroying your body in the process. The concept is simple. 80% of your weekly running, by time, not just miles, should be done at genuinely easy, aerobic, conversational pace. Zone 2. The other 20% should be legitimately hard, high-intensity intervals, tempo work, race pace efforts. That's it. That's the whole framework, and I can already hear you. That sounds too easy. That can't be enough. I'm not going to get better running slow. Stop. Think about that for 1 second. Kenyan and Ethiopian runners, the people who are breaking world records and winning major marathons, spend somewhere between 75 and 85% of their training volume at easy aerobic paces. These are not lazy runners. These are the fastest distance runners on the planet. You think they don't know something you don't? Here is why the slow running works, and this is the part that makes everything click. When you run at easy aerobic intensity, you are stimulating mitochondrial biogenesis. That means your body is literally building new mitochondria, the tiny energy factories inside your muscle cells that convert oxygen into the fuel you use to run. More mitochondria means more aerobic power, more fat-burning efficiency, and a dramatically higher lactate threshold over time. But here's the critical part. This adaptation happens most powerfully at low intensity. Push past that zone, even a little bit, and you shift the stimulus. You stop building the aerobic machinery and start recruiting different energy systems. You're burning the house down instead of building it. The slow running isn't the easy part of your training. The slow running is the training. It's doing the most important work. That 20% of hard running, that's where you're applying stress to the engine you're building. Tempo runs at 85 to 90% of your max effort, held for 20 to 40 minutes. That's not a jog, and it's not a sprint. It's controlled discomfort. It's teaching your body to sustain high output before lactate starts accumulating. Then you have your long intervals, 6 to 10 minutes at hard effort with recovery between them. These are stressing your VO2 max directly, forcing your body to adapt to high oxygen demand. And then there's the most ignored workout in recreational running, the long, easy run. Not the long run where you try to negative split the back half. Not the long run where you're secretly racing your own GPS watch. The long run where you hold a pace so easy that you feel almost guilty about it, and you stay there for 90 minutes to 2.5 hours. That run is building capillary density in your muscles, improving fat oxidation, and reinforcing running economy in ways that no interval session can replicate. Skip it, and your aerobic base stays shallow forever. Now let's talk about your breathing, because this is where I'm going to say something that's going to feel strange at first. When you feel like you're suffocating mid-run, that desperate, gasping, I can't breathe sensation that hits you when the pace gets hard. You're not running out of oxygen. Read that again. You're not running out of oxygen. What you are experiencing is a carbon dioxide buildup. Your body is producing CO2 faster than you're clearing it, and your brain is interpreting that CO2 accumulation as the urgent signal to breathe more. The oxygen is there. Your red blood cells are carrying it. The problem is, your breathing pattern is inefficient, and you're not getting rid of the CO2 fast enough. This is why you can fix this. The first tool is forced exhalations. Most runners breathe passively. They inhale with effort and exhale by just letting go. But a forceful, complete exhalation uses your core muscles to push all the air out, which actually creates more space for a full inhalation on the next breath and clears CO2 more aggressively. Try it on your next run. Force the exhale. Make it active. You'll feel the difference within a minute. The second tool is rhythmic breathing, specifically the 3-2 pattern. 3 footsteps on the inhale, 2 footsteps on the exhale. This asymmetric rhythm means your breathing doesn't always land on the same foot, which distributes the impact stress more evenly and, more importantly, it keeps your breathing cadence tied to your running cadence. It creates a physiological rhythm that naturally calms your nervous system when effort gets high. Practice this on easy runs first. Build it into muscle memory before you try to use it under hard effort. Here's your practical 8-week framework, and I'm going to give it to you straight without turning this into a textbook. The first 4 weeks are base building. You are running 5 to 6 days per week. 4 of those days are genuinely easy Zone 2 running, 20 to 45 minutes each. 1 day is a tempo run, 20 to 30 minutes at controlled hard effort. 1 day is your long, easy run, 60 to 90 minutes. That's it. Nothing heroic, nothing creative, just consistency and patience. Weeks 5 through 8, you start introducing 1 interval session per week in place of 1 easy run. 6 to 8 repetitions of 3 to 5 minutes at hard effort with equal recovery between. Your tempo day stays. Your long run gets longer. 90 minutes to 2 hours. Still easy, still controlled. The rest stays aerobic. The structure sounds almost boring when I describe it. That's intentional. Elite training isn't dramatic, it's deliberate. It's boring and consistent and deeply effective, and it's the opposite of what social media running culture wants to sell you. Is your training this structured right now? Be honest with yourself. Most people who tell me they train hard actually have no structure at all. They run whenever they feel motivated, they push whenever they feel good, and they wonder why their race times haven't moved in 2 years. Structure is the answer, not motivation. Structure. Here's your moment to think. Take everything you heard today and lay it against your last training block. How much of your running was genuinely easy? How much was genuinely hard? If most of it was in the uncomfortable middle, that grinding, moderate junk mile zone, you now know exactly why you're not improving. The 80-20 method isn't a new idea. It's been sitting in the research for decades. The coaches who win Olympic medals already know it. The question is whether you're finally willing to slow down enough to get fast. Go. Look at your training log tonight. Add up your easy runs and your hard runs. If the ratio isn't roughly 4 to 1, you have your homework. Start there. Not with a new pair of shoes, not with a new playlist, with honest, boring, wildly effective easy running. Next week, we're going to go 1 level deeper into the psychological trap that's keeping most runners stuck. And this one is uncomfortable in a different way. We're talking about the no pain, no gain mindset, why it was built for a completely different athletic context, and why it is specifically, measurably sabotaging endurance runners who bring it into their training. I'm going to show you the difference between productive discomfort and destructive effort, and how most runners can't tell them apart anymore. That's next. You don't want to miss it. If this video shifted something for you, if you felt that moment where things clicked, subscribe to the channel. This is the kind of conversation we have here every week. Real science, real honesty, no fluff. Hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.